Welcome back to the Gotham Sports Machine. I'm your host, Jack Healey, joined by my co-host, Mark Healey, and I'm not in a very good mood today.
No.
I went to bed pissed off. I woke up pissed off, but the good thing about a seven-game series is you get another chance. And we got Wednesday. The Knicks went down 2-1 last night in a very controversial, just tough game to watch for New Yorkers. I mean, the
Yep.
free throw discrepancy, the officiating was rough, but the Knicks didn't look good. They also were sloppy and they missed
Right.
shots and the turnovers were killer. So I mean Mike Brown said it perfectly. I feel like this was one of his best post-game press conferences, and some people are like, oh, he's complaining, whatever. Like when the officiating is that bad in the finals, like this is supposed to be the best of the best. This is supposed to be like the top, like for everything, the best teams on the top and the biggest stage with the top referee. Like you shouldn't, it should be an issue. We should be talking about the referees every single game. Like game one, it was like, all right, they're calling a tough game. They're giving Wemby calls. Game two was ridiculous.
Yep.
It was like, what are we doing here? We're letting him do whatever he wants. And game three, it got to the point where everybody, that's all anybody's talking about. It's like half, obviously Spurs fans don't care. But even non-Nick fans, even just like casual watchers, because it's the finals and it's a big finals. Everybody's watching these finals. It's like, what is going on here? Wemby's doing WWE moves on a guy half his size, and no one's watching. No one sees that.
I mean, look, it's one thing, and again, I posted this morning. The Knicks didn't play well. They had way too many turnovers. Guys were missing shots in big spots. All that stuff is true. But when the referees, especially in the second half, are completely calling every single foul on the Knicks. What was the discrepancy? Like 21-5 or something like
24 to
ridiculous
8.
amount. It was ridiculous. And, that changes the rhythm of the game. I don't care what anybody says. You want to have a physical, you want to have physical series and then call it both ways. If they called it both ways, that would have calmed down, I think, a lot of but if you give a team and they know that they can push the envelope physically and they're not going to get called for it, they're going to keep doing it. So, and even Cat was great after the game. He said, look, we have to play better. We gotta do, we have to play better. We have to, take care of things. We can't turn the ball over. He goes, but the fouls just changed the rhythm of the game. He even said it, and so I really feel like, look, the Knicks were due for a bad game. When's the last time they played a bad game? April. So clearly, not really since the Atlanta series. They haven't had a game like this. You don't want to do it in the finals. You don't want to do it on your home floor.
I mean,
So like,
game one, they were against the Cavs.
right, they had to come
They
back all the way, but they came back and they locked, they
Yeah.
won.
But
So
still, they looked like this.
right,
Brunson start dribbling the air out of the ball.
yep,
The passes is what messed everything up.
yes,
When you can't make crisp, clean passes against a good defense like that, how are you supposed to get open looks? How are you supposed to even dribble like Brunson couldn't even get over half court. Half the game is just getting mauled, just trying to even get them to even be able to take a shot. Mike Brown's got to find some way of either other guys taking up the ball up or just everybody getting up and running the offense for like closer to the half court so that Brunson doesn't have to just run around in circles and get beat up. And that was like 75% of the game. Just
yep.
watching Brunson on the floor getting pushed around.
Bridges wasn't a factor, and he's been so big, this whole playoff run.
And
He
even
certainly, didn't play well. You know,
Townsend and Bridges are like the two biggest factors in that offense for them to be clicking at their highest.
yep.
Like OG wasn't missing, and Brunson, he wasn't playing great, but he was hitting shots. And Hart was hitting shots too. But when you don't have Cat and Bridges
And
doing what they
Shaman,
did,
Shaman wasn't hitting anything.
it was a
So,
tough game for most of the team. It's just
look, and I don't want to complain about the refereeing. I don't want to complain about the refs. And it's not, it sounds like, you're making excuses. Look, it is what it is. I mean, I'm somebody that doesn't like to do that. I don't like to complain. But when Wemby is like mauling guys, and the Knicks are getting called for these ticky-tack fouls. How about when Hart hits the three and like Wemby falls into him? What was the other one where what's that? Cornette just like
oh
ran
my God.
over. I mean, what? And there's no call.
And he well, the call was a technical on Hart
I like
because he pushed him
what?
after. They tee up the Knicks for those two, and whatever you want to tee up the Knicks, but then the Spurs do things just as egregious right in front of the refs, and they don't do a thing. And it's been all series. They're giving Wemby the Michael Jordan, LeBron James whistle in his third season. He's
Which is
never done a thing.
crazy.
He hasn't even won an MVP, and they're treating him like he's God's gift and he can't be touched for no reason. Jalen Brunson is just as much of a money earner for you. He's the best player on the biggest market, which was the best team in sports at the moment. And you're not going to protect him. You're going to let him fall to the floor and get injured every 5 seconds. But this giant, skinny French guy, God forbid anybody blows on him or sneezes on him. It's disgusting. And there's a stat, even just not even just Wemby, for overall, for the drives to the hoop, the Knicks have taken it to the hoop 162 times and they've only shot 6 free throws. The Spurs have taken it to the hoop 155 times and have taken 22 free throws.
It's crazy.
The
Just
Knicks have
call it
taken
both
it to the
ways.
hoop
Just call it
more.
both ways. If you want to, like, if you're okay and you want you want the matchup to be physical, that's fine. Call it both ways. You can't have, nobody's watching that game unless you're a Spurs fan. Nobody's watching that game and thinking that it's equitable because it's not. It's egregious, and the NBA should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed that that's the quality of the product that they're putting out on the court. They should be embarrassed because it's disgusting.
He doesn't care. Adam Silver, he's the one who he probably made the call. I was like, yeah, we can't. This is their biggest final series in God knows how long. You already there's no way that there wasn't some way of like swaying like, oh, we need this series to be longer. We needed to go a game or two. Like the Knicks sweeping just wouldn't have been a good money move for them. As much as I hate to be one of those like conspiracy like oh scripted. I don't think anything's scripted. But to act like things can't get swayed, especially by officiating, which has been proven time and time again to be in scandal, like especially the NBA. The NBA, like not even too long ago, has had referees that have swayed playoff series and final
Yep.
series,
Yep.
especially towards star players that they didn't like. So,
Let me give you an example. When Shaq first came into the league, right? And he was, I mean, he's like 3 times the size of Wemby as far as like, a
how when he first came in
physical
the league,
force.
I mean,
I mean, he
obviously,
was a
he
monster. He didn't
played.
even get calls like that. He was constantly in foul trouble when he first came into the league because no one could play him straight up. You know, even the established guys like Hakeem and Ewing, like they had trouble with Ewing with Shaq, but Shaq didn't get like this special treatment where and I have to say that anybody that their takeaway from that game last night, if your takeaway is that it wasn't a one-sided, wasn't one-sided by the refs, you should take your press pass and you should throw it away because I'm sorry, you can say that that's not the reason that the Knicks lost. If you want to be an analyst and you want to say, well, the Knicks didn't shoot well. they had trouble with the defense. They were turning the ball over. Like, if you want to say that's the reason that the Knicks lost, which is what I said this morning, that's fine. But if your takeaway, and I think it was Tim Legler who
You
saw
know,
firsthand like how egregious that could be. He's sitting right there and watching the game. He's like, "Oh, that I don't think it was one-sided." Are you out of your mind? I mean, all you have to do is look at the second half.
he's been all over the place all series. There's a few times it's just like completely egregious calls. He's like, oh, I don't think I saw anything there.
I mean, what are you watching? How about when they had the Knicks took the ball out and the Spurs had six guys
And they
on the
stopped the
court.
game. What
What happened
is this?
there?
Is this CYO?
What are you doing? Oh, do over?
Oh,
What?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, if that had happened to the Knicks,
It would
I
have
mean,
teed them
if
up.
the Knicks would do it, that would have been forget about it. That would have, there's no question they would have got called for that. Do over? What? It's disgusting.
Well, the good thing is we're still up 2-1. We got a
Yes,
game tomorrow.
yes. And now it's all about tomorrow night. It's all about Wednesday night.
These
You got
guys,
to take
they're
care of
fighters. They're
business.
gonna keep fighting, and I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy that this is hopefully has woken up some Knicks fans to the fact that like this isn't gonna be easy. Like this isn't like you can't just guarantee anything.
No,
Like until the
Spurs are a
final
good
buzzer
team,
sounds at every game, like you can't. You got to take it quarter by quarter by quarter.
right? And
I mean,
and the
at the end of
Spurs,
the
the
first
Spurs
half,
are
it
a good
looked like
team. They're a good team. Like you weren't sweeping them. I'm
they're a
sorry.
great team, but they're young, so you
Right,
knew they were gonna make mistakes. But you would think the veteran, more experienced team that's been around the league that has a veteran star player would actually like get a whistle or two in the fourth
right.
quarter,
Yep.
especially when his whole game is taking it to the hoop and taking abuse from players twice his size. But no, we're gonna give the 7'11" guy who can do everything and shoot from the parking lot, but who's also his arms are ramen noodles. So like anything physical, anytime anyone's fit, like the Thunder were actually allowed to be somewhat physical with him. They were like putting Caruso and Dort on him, and they were smacking the hell out of him. And it's all of a sudden the Knicks, they can't do anything.
Well, the
And
Knicks are going to
it's
have to
not
do
even
that.
as much that. It's more the fact that they're letting Wemby do whatever he wants. They're not calling anything on him.
Right.
Them shoulder guys, they're letting them elbow guys. And I don't know what the hell he
On
did to
picks where his
Brunson.
arms are like 20 feet wide.
It's ridiculous.
But then,
But
who was it that got fouled for touching the guy's hair on the
oh
three-pointer?
my God.
I mean, really? I mean,
I've only seen that call twice in my life, and both times it's on the Knicks.
it's just, and you don't want it to be that, I mean, I'd be happy to criticize the Knicks and just be like, look, they played terrible, but that's not the
Mm.
whole story.
Yeah.
It's just not. And the idea that their takeaway would be like, oh, it was one-sided. What are you, nuts?
Hopefully,
It's almost
I
like
don't
it's
hopefully.
almost
I
like they
know
got
this.
together after the first half when the Knicks were up 7, and they were like, "All right, guys, we got to tighten this up.
There's a
We got to
clip
tighten it
of the
up."
ref, I think Mark Davis. There's a clip of him right after the Knicks went on that insane run at halftime, and his face looked like he's about to lose $150 million. And he's like, "Oh my God." And he's also the same guy. I don't even know if it's real or not because it's all over. I saw it once or twice, and it's like, it looked pretty real to me. And Mike Brown's like talking to him. He's like, you see, it's like arguing about a call. He's like, you see that? You just called that a travel over there, and you just called it a foul on us. And he goes, oh, I did. My fault.
I know. I think that's real. I
And
think
I'm
it's
seeing
real.
right now that the NBA is gonna look at Wemby RKO choke slamming Brunson, and maybe now they'll give him a technical.
Well, that's fine.
How does that
That's
help? Like,
fine, but it's
how does
after the
that?
fact.
Yeah. Thanks.
After the
Thanks.
fact. I mean, I think it
Thanks.
gets him closer to a suspension
Call
if he
foul a
does
day
another one,
later.
right?
Yeah.
but it's a joke. Get it right the first time. Get it right the first time. That's all. You can't have it be one thing if the Knicks were a team that fouled everybody on every play.
And that's it. They were fouling. They were fouling. There's no
Right.
question that they were fouling this game, that last game. But they were getting wailed.
Yeah.
The star players are getting wailed. Everybody's getting wailed. Just call it like
Just call it both ways. That's it.
full face.
That's all we ask. You know,
I
that's all
mean,
we ask.
now you're gonna have to go back into San Antonio if you want to win this series. So,
Yep.
but hey, the Knicks have been a great road team this playoffs.
Yes. They have to win that game. You
This
don't
next
want
game
this. You
is
don't want the series to get tied up 2-2.
then it starts getting dangerous. I mean, it's already dangerous. You already would let them right back in. They win games. They won. If they win last, it's just the more you think about it, the angrier it gets you, and it's disgusting at the end of the day. But you got to move on. You know these guys are gonna move on. You know Brunson. You
Yes.
know
And that's all that
like
matters.
once the game ended, you know Brunson was thinking about game three or game four.
Yep.
You just got to move on, stay locked in, and Mike Brown he really has to get this offense
Yep.
going in the way. I mean, he's done it all year. So I have faith in him.
I
He's
do
been a
too.
great
And
coach.
I liked what all the players said after the game. They didn't blame the referees. They didn't,
No, it's up to
which
Mike
is
Brown.
which is, but even he, most of his comments had nothing to do with he went after the team. Like he was like, we have to do better. We have to play better. We can't turn the ball over. I mean, yeah, I mean he should say something about the refereeing because he's the head coach. And it's better for him to say it than for the players to say it. Uh, but it's like one of those things. This team, I don't feel like this team that this loss is going to throw them for a loop. I don't think so because they've been too successful during this run to allow one bad game to like throw them off. And look, if it's 2-2, we've seen them come back from down 2-1 and win a series. So it's not like they haven't handled, their easy run to the finals. It's not like they haven't had to face adversity and overcome it. So, look, at the end of the day, and you won't hear any of that crap here because we don't touch the money. We don't jinx our team. We actually know the game. We know our players. We've been rooting for the Knicks for a long time when they were garbage. All these casuals who keep touching the money, who, did you see your buddy Jay-Z at the game? Mr. Nick now all of a sudden?
Yeah, there's too many
Oh,
fake. All
ah,
these. I already know.
what a
I could count
fraud.
on my hand the amount of like Nick fans I've seen. I know you're not a Nick fan. I know you were a Net fan and you just gave up because they're garbage now. But I knew where you were when they had Harden and KD, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. Clown,
stay over there. But
please.
now the Knicks
What
are
a
good, so everybody wants
fraud.
to. They want to go to the bar with their friends and they want to wear their Knicks stuff. Bad job.
That is a bad job. Clown. Clown car. Get them all in a clown car. All these frauds.
Whatever though.
It's a bad job all around. So Wednesday night, it's the difference when you're looking at an NBA series. It's not like you're looking at. It's almost like it's like the NFL. Like the lineup's not really going to change, right? They just have to do. They have to execute better. It's not like baseball where you're looking at that day's starting pitcher. You're looking at the lineup and how it's going to change based on whether there's a lefty or a righty starter. So it's a little harder to preview or predict what's going to happen, tomorrow night or Wednesday night. What do you feel like? Like, what do you think that they have to do right away? When they start the game tomorrow night, like what do you think that they have to establish with the
Towns,
Spurs right away?
Towns and Bridges. I mean, you can't let either of them go. It seemed like they went quarters without like getting shots up sometimes.
Yep.
Bridges completely disappeared at points, and Towns was just not. He was so passive on some threes. It seemed like the first three he took was in the fourth quarter, and it wasn't really a good shot. It was like 40 feet out with Wemby on him. He never got into a rhythm from three. He's the best big man shooter ever. You need to get that guy open for three. You need to get him some pick and pop plays. You need to get him the rock in his hand so he can make those decisions. But he also has to be aggressive. He can't just keep pump fake, pump fake, pump faking when you got a guy 3 inches, 4 inches shorter than you in front of you. Just shoot it. Only guy you're not gonna be able to shoot over is Wemby. Everybody else they're gonna have to make a hell of a play to block his shot. So they need to get Cat going, they need to get Bridges going, and the passing needs to be better. If they Hart he had a great game, but he might have had 8 passes that were terrible. Same with Brunson. Brunson looked lost at times. Don't like there was a few and just guys not looking, guys just you need to have crisp passing and it needs to start with Towns. Towns is the best passer on the team. Love Brunson, but
Well, I think the other thing too is that, like the Spurs were so embarrassed how they lost game 2. They really should have won that game. I mean, if
mm,
you're a Spurs fan, that's how I would have felt. It's like we had this game, we should have won this game. You know, uh, the missed foul shots, and then they get their guy shooting the shot at the end.
and the
And,
turnover
and
before
then
it too.
right before that was passing the back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so
Yeah, this could
look, you knew
easily
they were going to come out trying to win last
this
night.
could
That was
easily
their
be
season.
2-1 Spurs right now. This series could have been either way.
Sure. Yep. I
And
agree.
the Knicks are fortunate to be up 2-1. Could have been up 3-0, but they could be down 3-0. Every game has been very close.
Yep.
So,
And that's why you can't miss free throws. That's why you
yeah.
can't have freaking
Turnovers
unforced
and free throws.
turnovers.
Turnovers and free throws, even at the highest level on the biggest stage, turnovers and free throws will always be the key
Always.
to
Always.
playing a good, clean, efficient game.
I mean, I almost feel like, and again, like, what do I know? But who's that bench guy, that big dude, for the Knicks?
Which one?
The one
Hug
who's like
Porty?
humongous. What's his name?
They got two. They got Hug Porty and Trey Jamison. But either way,
The
they could
other
throw
guy.
those guys
Like,
in.
get that guy in, like, bang that Wemby around a little bit for, like, 10 minutes at the
That's
end
the
of the first
biggest difference
quarter.
between basketball now and basketball like 20, 30 years ago. They would have done that.
Yep.
They're just they would have because
That's what the bad boys would have done. The
Wemby,
Detroit Pistons, Rick Mahorn, and those guys, they would have just murdered Wemby. That's what they did to Jordan. They murdered the guy. Come down the line of like 5 guys: Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, those guys like Jeff. What was his name? Jeff Rutledge, Jeff Rutland. They would have murdered the guy. Forget about it. It's
even
rough.
like even like back in the even like the 2010s, like you put a guy like KG on him for a series,
Oh,
he'd be bruised up and down. He wouldn't
yeah.
want to come out for the next game.
And that's what they have to do. They have to be physical.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they have to. They have to, and they got to use a guy. They got to use a guy who they don't care if he gets into foul trouble.
Oh, they just got to
Because
be more
that
aggressive
hurt
with
Bridges
Mitch
too. Bridges was in foul trouble.
right
That's
away.
another
Yeah.
another reason why he
Two
wasn't fouled.
rinky-dink fouls right away. And they did it in the first quarter and they did it in the beginning of the second half. Two rinky-dink fouls right away. It's ridiculous. And it's like the Spurs are in the bonus for the entire quarter, every quarter. So then you
But it's
can't
not
force
one
the foul.
sided. Don't blame the refs, Jack. Don't blame the refs because it's not one
Yeah,
sided.
it doesn't change the flow of the game either.
I
Changes
mean,
every.
it's disgusting. No matter how you slice it, you know.
Uh,
And then people are talking about, oh, it was because Trump was there, and oh, it was because of they Jim Dolan, and shut up. The players don't care about any of that crap. They don't care. Maybe other Knicks teams in the past, or the Nets or some other, team like might have
It
been
had
affected
nothing to
by
do with
something like
anything.
that.
It had
Not
nothing
this
to do with
team.
anything.
This team does not care about any of that stuff. And we can criticize them all they want. They'll criticize them themselves. They
Yep.
know what they have to do.
And hopefully they take care of
But neither
business.
you or I thought this was going to be an easy series. I
Nope.
think I said Knicks in six. I think you said Knicks in six, right? Or seven. Neither of us thought they were going to sweep. Neither of us thought they were going to win, Knicks in five.
No.
No, they just got to do it. They got to go out there and do it. Can't play around.
No. Wednesday night is the night, and
Yep.
hopefully they can take care of business. And tonight we actually got a little Mets action.
Yep.
Mets.
Big series for the Mets. Big series with the Cardinals, who I don't understand. Their run differential is like basically the same as the Mets, but like they're like 6 or 7 or 8 games ahead of them in the wild card. The Mets have to show up for these 6 games. They got the Cardinals and they got the Braves. That's 6 games. If the Mets don't win 4 out of these 6 games, I don't know how. Even you and I were pretty optimistic. Just in general, it's still what,
You
seven
are.
games under 500, six
You
games
are.
under
I'm not
500.
optimistic.
Well, I mean, I still feel like they have a shot at making the
Yeah, I still feel like
playoffs.
they have a shot, but
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic about that shot. If this
Well,
is a make or break month, if they don't, especially at the beginning, if they in the first 2 weeks they lose 9 games, yeah, they're done.
they're done and they're going to have to sell at the deadline. Now, look, we've seen teams struggle, sell at the deadline, and figure out a way to win. Start bringing guys up and play really well
I
because they
mean,
have a bunch of kids. But
who
yeah,
knows what you get for Peralta? I mean, he's asking for 8 years, 210 million. No thanks.
yeah, but you can't worry about that now. I mean, I would just keep him just because he's, still one of the better, if not the best pitcher that the Mets have right now.
Yeah, you're gonna keep so you can get an insane haul for him at the deadline.
But
If
can
you
you?
win 70 games and
Do
he
you
leaves you
trust David Stearns to make that deal? I don't. I don't.
still, you're getting something for him. He could just leave in free agency. We're terrible this year, and then you get nothing.
Maybe you get a first baseman who can actually play.
That's what I'm saying. You can get he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So you're gonna get something for him. You're gonna get either a
Yes.
bunch of prospects or you're gonna get one or two quality like veteran bats that are like on expiring deals or something.
I don't know.
So
David Stearns hasn't had a good deadline yet, so
all I know is I liked Peralta. I liked the move at first, but I do not want to give that guy 8 years, 200 whatever
no,
million
neither do I.
for what he's given us this year.
No,
And what he's done,
no.
he's done it his whole career. He's never been more than a 5 inning guy ever, really.
You
And
can't give you cannot give that kind of a deal to a guy who cannot ever pitch into the seventh or eighth inning. You just can't. You can't do it. And I know that analytics, all the nerds are going, oh, well, that's not the way baseball is played now. Well, make up your
that's
mind.
how baseball is won. That is how baseball is won. Because you get a guy who's
You
going
can't
4 innings
pitch.
in the playoffs and he just starts getting pissed on, which he did it against the Dodgers multiple times. Yeah, no
Not only
thanks.
that, but you can't have your bullpen throwing 5 innings
Yeah,
every game. And you can't do it. And the Mets actually have a decent bullpen. If that bullpen wasn't being overworked every single game, they actually might have, a better than average, if not good, bullpen. But you can't tell because they have to come into the fifth inning every game. And it's ridiculous. And Mendoza's got to do a better job of pushing the starters a little bit. He just has to. Every time Christian Scott's in the fifth inning and he gets in a little trouble. I mean, I know he's coming off Tommy John. I know that he's a kid, but
let's see.
you got to
It's like
start
his
somewhere
whole
with these guys.
Stearns has built an entire roster of noodle arms. It's every other week a different guy is hurt, and every other week you're seeing some rando just. I mean, it's been a little better this year with like the rando starters and bullpen guys, but
Yeah, it's
we still
definitely
need openers. We
yeah.
still need openers, and we still have maybe one guy we can trust to go 6 innings in McLean, and he's been
No, but he's been fine his last couple of times. They didn't score
yeah
runs. They didn't score any runs for him. Last time he pitched, they scored 2 runs. And Austin Warren had to come in and pitch, and
he's been great.
yeah, but he wasn't great the other night when he gave up. When they lost, they should have won that. They should have won that game. But you
Yeah,
can't
can't
win
hit.
games when you only score 2 runs. And now all the Met fans, oh, Jared Young, he's so good. They finally found their first baseman. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
Look, he's been good. I mean, he's been decent,
does he even have 100 at bats yet?
but he's Jared Young. Like, that's
Even
what
then,
you gave
like
up Pete Alonso
you
for
cannot
Jared
call a player
Young.
good or not until he's got at least like 100 to 200 at bats. Because these guys are MLB baseball, like they made it to the leagues for a reason. They know how to hit a baseball. Eventually, these guys get in good hot streaks. But baseball is a game of streaks. You can have a great week. You can look like the best player in the world for a week, and then the rest of the season, you're garbage. We've seen that is the definition of Met players sometimes. You get a 1 or 2 weeks, you're like, oh my God, is this the guy? And then you come back to reality and he's hitting 200, 150. And Jay Melendez, everybody was in love with him. He's
Exactly.
right back to reality.
Exactly. Although I have to say, he has been decent. He has
I
been
mean,
decent.
he's a good like seventh or eighth guy on the bench, but everybody,
Yes.
your 3-4 hitter,
They don't really
you
have that
paying
guy. I mean, it would be Bichette, but he has a couple of good games, and then he goes back to his
50
600
million.
OPS.
Yeah. But God forbid you pay a guy like Pete Alonso who
Ugh.
wakes up with a 700 OPS. He's never been below 750. This was his career worst year for like the first half, and he still got like 13 home runs and like 50 RBIs already.
We said it at the time. Now, obviously, you were more upset about it with Pete. I'll definitely give you that credit. I was, because I felt like, well, if you're going to get rid of Pete, he's got to bring in somebody that's going to be good, right? A good first baseman. He's got to replace that offense, and he
Yeah.
did not do it.
He replaced it with
So,
pulled pork,
regardless, and that's what people say, well, I was
pulled pork
okay with it, or
Polanco.
I looked at this. Doesn't matter. His job is to make the team better. And if they keep going the way they're going, this will be the third season in a row where they have declined in performance.
He's not the GM of a supermarket. He's not supposed to be able to like, oh, I can like it's like the same value, but like we're spending less money. I don't care. You are the GM of the Mets. You are the president of the richest team in sports. I want you to, especially when we have a franchise player or franchise home run leader, homegrown player, I do not care. You give him whatever he wants. But
Not only that, but
analytic,
with all
the
the
formula.
analytics, you're supposed to be so smart. So you have all the money and you have all the brains because you're the smartest guy you're the smartest
Yeah,
guy.
he wanted the no slump lineup.
And now they
That can't
stink.
hit.
They stink.
And but Simeon's had a good 2 weeks. So that means the
So
trade's
yeah,
great.
so that was a great trade. It's a great
Yeah.
trade now because now the numbers are a little bit more equal because Nimmo got off to a fast start and Simeon was like invisible for the first 2 months of the season. But now he's had a couple of home runs. Look, I mean he has played better. But
I'm
this
still
idea,
never gonna that trade is never gonna sit right with me ever.
nope.
He could have an MVP second half. Like the only way I would ever get over what has been done to this team is if they win a title in the next 2, 3 years, and it's not gonna happen. I know
I
it.
don't I don't see it. I don't see it.
He's gutted this team like a fish, and they have the best player, or arguably the best player in his prime, or best hitter in his prime in baseball right now.
Well, it's the same thing that happened when they got Piazza, but at least when they got Piazza, they got to a World Series. But they did the
They
same
got
thing.
sold when they got worse.
They squandered most of Piazza's career because they made terrible moves. After they got to the World Series, they were never the same in 2000.
And
They were
when
never the
Soto
same.
signed his contract and it had like the opt-out years after whatever, and nobody even like even considered. I was like, oh, not gonna opt out. He's gonna be a Met for 15 years. He's going to opt out the second he can. Why would he
He
stay?
would be nuts. He would be nuts not to. He'd be nuts not to.
Because it's still gonna be like a 6, 7 year, like $200, $300 million deal. He still made his money, but he's
Now he's
gonna
not
leave his
miserable now
money.
because he is getting a kick out of the young guys and he's playing
Yeah,
with
and
the young guys. But
he likes the team around him. He's still like the
yeah,
star of the team, but a year or two of losing and then being really bad, he's gonna get sick of it real fast. Because the second he starts playing bad, and the second he's like hitting under 280, everybody's gonna come for him. That's just the way it goes. And it's gonna be
yeah.
Juan Bozo.
Uh,
Well,
rough.
hopefully, hopefully the next episode's a little happier.
I hope so. I hope
It's been
so.
that was a drastic change within. Well, the Knicks are still up 2-1,
Yep.
but
So
and
hopefully
football's right around the
hopefully we'll be
corner.
in
I
a
can,
much better mood next
yeah.
week.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Gotham Sports Machine. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Wherever you get your content, we are there. See you guys next week.
See you next week, everybody. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Mets. Let's go something, man. We
St.
got
John's
to.
baseball. Go New
Oh,
York.
Gotham Baseball coming up on Gotham Baseball Live on Friday. We are going to have Roger McDowell of the 1986 championship New York Mets. Really looking forward to that interview. Really looking forward
Nice.
to it. So I hope everybody checks it out. Gotham Baseball Live. That episode will drop on Friday at 2 o'clock. All right, Jack. Thanks, buddy. Love you, pal.
Love you.